ba 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 ba. Hey everyone, I'm just checking the sound. The sound wasn't working then. Hey Jonathan, Ground Pets, Pickstar, how you doing? Yeah, don't forget to smash the like button. I've I've been on a bit of a video whirlwind, haven't I? I think I've had 4 videos come out today, which wasn't my intention. I have to be honest, it wasn't my intention to put so many out. However, I let me just take my shoes off. I just felt like after discovering the PHP memory limit issue with Kinsta, I thought it was only right that I get a video out. It just made sense to me that I can't pretend because there's going to be other people affected by this issue. So I wanted to get it out there. So I hope anyone who uses Kinsta. I'm just checking my foot. I've got a bit of a bump on my foot here, which I'm not sure how I got that bump. Bit of a weird bump. Anyway, I wanted to put a video out basically, and also, funnily enough, someone asked me this morning. I've got a server error 500. And I was already doing a video about it, so I put out that video as well. Anyway, I hope you're all okay. How are you doing, Jonathan? How are you doing, Pickstar, as well? Hope you're all doing good. Very busy morning. Working on a client's website. They had some further changes, which was expected because it was like first cut, and it was like, okay, look, do you like it or not? I'm hoping to get that project finished today so that I can work on some other stuff. But it's been very go 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 go. You know, hey Artif, how you doing? It's been very go 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 today. Lots of things to sort out and do. By the way, I've got a skip arriving today, so if I suddenly shoot off for like 3 minutes, it's just because I need to make sure they put the skip in the right place because I'm doing another extra clear out of stuff in the house and the garden. Jonathan says, I transfer my site. It's saying I need to point my sites. Yeah, so have you done that then? Have you pointed the site? Basically, it might be the domain. So the DNS name server change. Have you done that? It says you may need to wait 72 hours. To be honest, it's never really that long. Normally it's like a day, you know. And you'll know when it's done, basically. So when you go if you go to your URL now, do you still see your site? Do you see a fresh site? It also very much depends on if you're doing a migration with SiteGround as well. But DNS name server change, those kind of things. Again, cheers, Atif. There's nothing special about the garden. Seriously. It's just a lot of clearing out. So it's like Raheem's old trampoline. You know, those big, massive trampolines. Basically taking that down, pulling that apart. Loads of old pallets. So Raheem used to have a pirate ship. It was a pirate ship made out of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 wooden pallets and loads of wood. So loads of wooden pallets, loads of wood, right? That pirate ship has now been brought down. Hey Dave, how you doing? So I needed a skip to get rid of loads of wood, old trampoline. And when you have a skip, if you don't fill it up, I'm pretty sure we're going to fill it up. If you don't, you then go, right, what else is there in the house we want to get rid of? Oh, you know what? We don't use that. Let's just get rid of it. Hey, Leanne. Hey, George. I have a question for everyone here. And this is a question where there is no right or wrong answer. If you could go back in time right now, what would you do differently about your business? So I don't just mean one thing or two things. I don't mean the obvious, like, oh, I would have used Divi or I would have used bricks or whatever. No. If you could go back in time, what would you have done differently in terms of maybe your setup of your business, or maybe something about the tools you use? You know, did you get, maybe you didn't get an accountant and then you realize you did need an accountant. Maybe you didn't set up a business account. Again, then you went up and set up a business bank account. Maybe it was where you were working from home in an office. Was it advertising? Was it marketing? What? Tell me about something you could have done different. Hey, no, I can see you, Pickstar. I can see you. I can see you, mate. Imran M, Ground Pets, you're using a DNS like Cloudflare. Oh, that's a question for Ground Pets there. So Marcus Lee, strange one, but meditate more. That's an interesting one, that is. It's like going into oops, sorry, just got a you probably got a bit of a noise then when I moved the mic. Yeah, I think reflection is something that we all should do a little bit more. I like to plan out my tasks in the morning and the afternoon and the next day. And I like to set them, even if I know this task is only going to take me like 10 minutes, I block off an hour so that if it goes over, I'm okay. If I get it done quick, I've got breathing time to do other stuff. And some people say to me, yeah, but when you do one thing, get on to the next, get on to the next. That's how I used to work years ago. But then you're just continuously like that. And I always think that breathing time to like review what you've done, reflect on what you've done is always a good idea. But I do understand what you mean by meditate more. You don't just mean tasks. I think you mean generally. Kate, run the other way. Now what George says there is a really good one, right? Someone today asked me to they basically sent me a massive email, right? A massive email about everything they wanted me to do with regards to a jet engine membership LMS website. And I said, I'm not even going to read your email. It wasn't yesterday, it was yesterday. I'm not even going to read your email until you pay for consultation time. But we've all guilty of this, right? We all start off and we feel like, oh no, we got to help them. We got to help them. And then we regret it later on. Artie, if I could go back, I'd forget any web design stuff. Start a YouTube channel of me playing video games. Do you know what, Artif? Do you know something, Artif? Sometimes I look at some people who are absolutely killing it on YouTube and they're just playing games or they just have a camera and they just record their daily life with their family out and about. There's nothing, I don't want to use the word intelligent because that sounds really offensive, but there is nothing knowledgeable. There's nothing for you to gain or learn from it. There are some people that are just playing a game and they're actually playing the game really badly, or they're just doing the basics, or they're just like there's this I came across it on YouTube Short today and I couldn't help but go, what do they do? They've got like 1.2 million subscribers. They've only ever put out 200 videos. The videos are rehearsed. They are all rehearsed, you know. So the husband comes in, he says something, the wife says something, he says something, she says something, and they get thousands. I mean, we're talking like 600,000 views. And it's not even funny. It's like they're doing something that's been done many times before, but they just keep getting views. And I look at him and go, why am I busting a gut and working so goddamn hard on WordPress videos and editing and all of this? And some of them, they just put out like a 30-second video and boom, they are milking it. John B, thank you so much for the serve. Yes, it's actually a problem that isn't uncommon on client websites, but I also see a lot of people who say there's an issue, and the number one solution is go and increase your PHP memory limit. But what if your provider, you can't do that, or what if you don't know how to do it? So the quickest solution is WP Sweep, right? That's the quickest solution. I agree with you, Marcus. People are very, very nosy. You know, it's very, very nosy. Now, I've always thought, yeah, should I start, doing stuff on Raheem's channel with Raheem? So not my channel, but Raheem's, to help him out. And I keep feeling like Raheem's trouble is he always says to me, Dad, we need to do a video. And I'm like, yeah, so what do you want to do? And then he has an idea, but then he doesn't want to record it. Oh, Dad, I'm playing my game. Oh, Dad, I'm going here. Oh, Dad, I'm doing that. So Raheem really needs to get on board if he wants to grow his channel and become a millionaire. Goldieberg, for a beginner to design responsive websites. Look, I can tell you now, don't do Wix because you'll regret it later on. If you want to do Elementor, go and watch my responsive video. And I have done quite a few responsive videos on how to use a font clamp and how to do, basically font clamp, responsive fonts, or REM for your fonts, or for your margin, or your padding, or your image. So there's videos we've got, Goldieberg, that you can go and watch about how to make your website so much more responsive. Or you can go and join our course, which I've got a feeling you won't. But if you want, you can go and join our course, and where we help you to build in a much more responsive way. Yeah, do you know something, Artie? I agree with you on this as well. I agree with you on this. It's just that Raheem, he keeps complaining about like how many subscribers he's got. And then what I say to him is, but you need to do more video. You need to think about, what do you enjoy doing? And he has ideas, but he just doesn't want to record it. No, but you are right, Artie. I agree with you. There are clearly some people that are milking their kids, and they're making their kids do stuff which I don't like as well. Raheem wants to grow, but boy, does he like, he just, doesn't really do it. George only slept for 3 hours. So if you say something dumb, don't worry, George. It'll be normal, right? It'll be normal. It'll be normal. So in terms of doing things differently, if I could go back in time, I would probably have put more time into it's a difficult one because I always feel, I would have been more harsher with the clients I take on. So there are clients we've worked with. There are some legacy clients we still work with, and I now realize I would never have taken them on, or I would have pushed them into a different direction. So there's one client we have on our legacy server where they moved from their old server provider to us. They were hosted by a web designer who was a pile of rubbish to them. So we moved them onto our shared server, and they were okay. But what they didn't do was move their email. And I told them, "Are you sure you want to stay there?" They were like, yeah, we want to stay there. They use a company called Gandi.net, Gandi, not DHI, Gandi, Gandi.net. And I told them, you can just move over, but they didn't want to do it. Now Gandi.net have changed their business model because they sent me an email today. And basically they're saying you got to pay more for a package. If not, your emails will just stop working. And they've come to me now and said, can you sort this out? And I've gone back and said, no. You pay for hosting. You pay for the maintenance of your website. You do not pay us for looking after your email. We gave you the option and you don't want to do it. If you want me to get involved, and I put this right at the bottom, there is going to be a cost for that, right? There's going to be a cost for that. And the cost could be a little bit unpredictable because if I have to spend time, because I did when we first moved them over, spent like 3 hours with Gandhi because there was a major issue, even with the MX and text records, with getting the emails to go through. And they were really, really not helpful. But in hindsight now, there are clients I've worked with, clients we still have legacy that I would never have worked with in hindsight. Because when you look at the value, I mean, when you think about when you first started off, what you were charging for a website build or for hosting or to maintenance, you know, there'll be people out there that say they charge 15, 20 pounds a month for maintenance and hosting and whatever, right? And then you look at it now and go, the amount of headache maybe that client or the work gives you. I mean, we don't have headaches, other than, you know, we don't really have headaches. I've pruned off the ones that gave us headaches. But when you think about it, the value of what you charge then, and if you're still working with some of those clients now, you always end up almost, you can nudge them up in price, but there's a limit as to how much you can nudge them. And then, like, you know, there's a bit of give and take there. Yeah, absolutely, George. Gandhi is awful, right? Michael manages some email servers. Good for you, Michael. Kate does not think about coulda, woulda, shoulda. You're right. I wish I found my best work and not be pushed. Yeah, well. So I've been involved in things over my career that I wish I never got involved in. I used to do a lot of writing. I got into a writing community group, and I ended up doing more than I really needed to. And I had to push myself out. And by pushing myself out in a way, I lost friends. And I hate the fact that they couldn't appreciate that I don't have all the time in the world. A lot. I'm not trying to be ageist here, okay? But a lot of people in that group were like 30, 40 years older than me. So when a younger person comes in, they almost feel like, yeah, you can handle that. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can handle that. Same thing happened with not the writing. I've already spoken about the writing. What was the other one? What was the other one? There was another one as well. There was another group. I can't remember what the group was. There was another group that I was part of. And again, I ended up doing everything. Oh, Imran, can you arrange this? Oh, Imran, can you do that? And you almost, that was it, residential association in my second house. And there's lots of comments coming in here, but I will get onto it. Residential association. And again, because I was the younger one of the group. Oh, Imran, you do that. Oh, Imran, you do that. And you know what? Sometimes you realize I'm losing control. And that's why with Web Squadron, the YouTube channel and everything, I might give an idea and I might run back on it when I think more about it and go, no, I shouldn't have done that. George, a client's son thinks that he knows. So what's this? A client's son that thinks he knows WordPress changed to them and is wondering what changed the theme. The theme, you mean the theme, and is wondering why the website's not working. Again, that's a very common issue. Grandpet, I bought Grow Big and then selected Auto Transfer, then in WordPress. I can't remember the exact step, Jonathan, but I think that sounds about right. Yep. You know, migration of email. I'll tell you what, migration of emails is a pain in the ass. Yeah, okay. It sounds to me like your website is migrating over there. It is now migrating over. You don't. Well, the thing is, though, Grandpet, where's the domain for that website? So where's the domain? And did you go to did you go to where you've got the domain? Go to name server change. Where is the domain, by the way? So where's the domain? Where's the domain? Now they are begging to restore it. So this is George's client's son who went and changed the theme. Unless there's a backup. Hey Eddie, how you doing? It's on Hostinger, right? Okay. So have you gone to Hostinger, and have you Hostinger somewhere on there? You'll have name server or domain, whatever, and then you have to put into there the SiteGround IP, or it gives you these two name servers. Name server 1, name server 2. So you need to go in and touch them. I agree with Artif here as well, because it's not until I've gone through the bad clients, I've gone through the aggressive clients, I've gone through the abusive clients, the low paid jobs, handling emails once for our very first client, which was the biggest mistake I ever made because they were with BT Internet then. And oh my God, was it difficult to sort all of that out with their domain and email and everything. That was so... I keep looking over there because I've got a skip coming, but I don't know what time they're coming. So I've got to kind of like keep my ears and eyes open in case I hear them so I can rush out and tell them where to put it. George got a question. Do you really think I didn't... Oh, sorry, it's SiteGround. Of course, yeah, you got a backup. Do you know what, though? The thing is, though, as long as you know you've got the backup, you could... I mean, well... Are you going to charge for it, George, to restore the backup? Can I be really honest, everyone? I am a transparent person. But when someone went and mucked up their website and I had to go and get the backup, I did charge them for that. I charged them an hour of my time to say, look, I'll go do it and get it, but you got to pay in advance, kind of thing. And I know that sounds really bad, but it was like I hadn't planned to work on your site or then check everything's working okay. Because even when you restore a backup, you still got to go in and check. And maybe there's been an update on a plugin that is now no longer updated because of the time period of the backup. So you might have to go back in and check stuff or whatever. So I don't think there's any shame in that. But yeah, I would. So I'm just jumping into Kate and Artive's comments there. I mean, I can tell you now, right? Do you remember when Bitcoin first came out really early on, right? Really early on. I know someone who invested £1,000 into Bitcoin when it was really, really early on, right? And I was like, what? No. This is a fad. What are you doing? What are you doing? Thank you, Yasser, for that. You are a great person. Guess what they made? I can't remember what the value of the Bitcoin was then, but they spent £1,000. They did. I mean, they had money to spend, so they obviously did it. When Bitcoin was at the $24,000 mark, they came away with £3 million. £3 million. I never saw them again. But there's always things in life, we all go, oh, I wish I'd invested in Apple. I wish I'd invested in XYZ. I wish I'd bought that house in 1999. No, not 1999. It's 2001. Which then within 2 years doubled in price because of the market. And there's so much stuff we so wish we would do. The biggest lesson, though, is just because one person got lucky doesn't mean you will get lucky. Do you get what I mean here? So just because one person went and did Bitcoin and came out happy does not mean that if you went into Bitcoin, you will make the same amount or come out happy. That's the biggest lesson you got to take away from this, right? Someone bought a lottery ticket and won. Does not mean you will win either straight away or ever. Or you could. There's a bit of luck. There's a bit of planning. There's a bit of thinking. How many people do you know, right, bought a house, say 10 years ago, and now their house is maybe worth nearly double, maybe not even double, 50, 60% more than what it was when they bought it? They're laughing. But at the same time, there will be someone who goes and buys a house now And then before they know it, the market goes down and they're now in negative equity. So I always say, difficult to follow what everyone does. Right. What are we talking about here today? Great video, boy. I'm glad you saw it. Did WP Sweep did WP Sweep help you out on there? DS Gaming. How to align the Shop Now button on the page WordPress without Elementor. Okay, you're not using Elementor, so what are you using then? What are you using? How to align the Shop Now button. Very difficult for me to answer that. It's really because I'm not sure of what page or what we're talking about here. Exactly, Dave. Right place, right time. Yes, the DS Gaming. I'll just answer that, right? What are you using? By the way, DS Gaming, right? You are going to hate this answer, but I've said this repeatedly, right? Never ever think you can go up to anyone, verbally, email, on the phone, live chat, anything, and demand and say, tell me how to do something. You can describe the problem, but you can't make anyone answer you. I get a lot of people in the Elementor Facebook group and the Web Squadron Facebook group. What they do is they have a problem and they then copy me in, or they wait a bit and then they copy me into the reply and go, Imran. And I don't want to be rude, but I am so effing busy sometimes that unless I can look at that problem and I know the answer straight away, if I don't reply, it's probably because I'm either busy. It's going to take a bit of time for me to find the answer. And then I've got to look at it and go, should I spend time looking into the answer? Should I? Because you have to balance off what you do. Well, you got to balance off how much time you got before you do what you do. To be honest, Eddie, I've put the video out. I've even put it on Twitter, copied them in. I'm sure I'm going to get told to take it down, but there's nothing dishonest or false in what I say in that video. And I do have the live chat from them where they basically admitted to not telling you you are limited to 256 until you ask. And then they'll say you got to go pay for enterprise server to go on to 512. If you want to go higher than 512, you can't. There's no way, right? And I just think that there needs to be a bit of open honesty here from all host providers. So I know I'm picking on Kinsta, but I now think that I'm going to have to do a video at some point, aren't I? What are the questions you need to find out from your host provider? So if you do not agree with me on this, can you please say why you don't? Okay, please tell me why you don't. Can you have a backup? Can you have a staging site? Can you have an email? You don't have to have your email. I'm just saying if it's there, great. If not, go and sort it out elsewhere. You don't have to, but I'm just saying, right? Backup, staging, email. Can you modify the PHP limit and the PHP version? Do you have control over doing that? Okay. If you can't do that, I don't want to know. Does it come with SSL? Right? Does it come with SSL as well? Can you access the file manager or the cPanel? But can you access it without having to do SFF, TEF, TEF, PEFI, SFTP, files that are all that? Can I do that within the solution? What I pay for? Can I do that? Right? Can I have a subdomain? 7 things you really need to be thinking about. Things like the bandwidth. I mean, of course, don't get me wrong. Bandwidth, how much storage space you have, right? That matters. Of course it matters. But how many times when you go on to look at a comparison page on like host providers, they spend more time comparing how much bandwidth do you get? What's your storage space? How many users, right? That is important, but it ain't as important as some of the stuff I've just mentioned there. Hey, Mia, how are you doing? Great to have you. Mia, have you recently changed? Have you recently changed your profile pic? Is that a new profile pic, Mia? Or I've not noticed it before. Stacy, hope you're okay. If the camera is a little bit distorted, that's going to be the buffer speed. Let me just double check. I haven't got much stuff open. But that's probably just going to be buffer speed between well, streaming and YouTube. Double check the video though, the streaming quality. Your streaming quality might have gone to 240 or 480 or something like that. Hey, Pickstar, take care, mate. Just spotted that. See you soon, mate. Just to scroll down. Yeah, Eddie, that new video is about WP Sweep and how you can use it. So if you get the memory limit issue, you might just need to run WP Sweep to get rid of some transients, old drafts, revisions. Don't delete everything though. Be very careful what you do, but getting rid of the first three is a pretty good idea, and I do that in the video. Oh yes, George, good point. Inode limits as well. That is a very, very good, shrewd question. If you're going to use a server for shared hosting of other websites, the number of inodes you have matters. An Elementor website could be about 7,000 inodes. An Elementor website with WooCommerce is easily going to hit 20,000 inodes. You add on a few more plugins, you're now in the 25,000 inode bracket. So you need to watch out for that. So when someone says, here's a server, unlimited websites, yeah, it's not really unlimited, right? Because if they say you're allowed 200,000 inodes, right? Divide that by 20, that gives you an idea of roughly how many websites you could have, right? If they're going to be e-commerce or non-e-commerce. There's a really good question answer there by George. Webrisers, how many times do I have to check client websites when they buy a maintenance plan? Well, what did you say? What did you say? Did you say weekly? Did you say monthly? It very much depends on what you said in the plan. So I got a client. They pay me a decent amount, and every Saturday, I've told them every Saturday afternoon, unless I tell you I won't be around, I will go in and check your updates on your website. And that's it. Hey, you see, Mia, I did notice. But what I would say, Webriser, it's basically what you put in your contract. Daily, weekly, fortnightly, annually, never ever. Or maybe you said, we will update your website. I mean, in small font 1, you said when you tell us to. Yeah, so Webriser, we've just answered your question. We've just kind of answered your question, really. You know, you update the plugin. Well, you don't update the plugin straight away, and it's a vulnerability or a security update or something like that. But you don't do it straight away. You always wait a couple of days or a week. Right. Mike says most are probably not e-commerce. Exactly. Yeah. To be honest, though, if you are going to use a shared hosting provider, check how many inodes are allowed. Basic Elementor website, right? We're talking here. You're looking at about 6,000 to 7,000 inodes. So if you've got like 300,000 inodes capacity, divide that. I would say divide by 8 or 9. Don't just go with 7, go by 8 or 9. And every time you build a new website and it lands on that shared server, check your inodes, right? I'm always checking our inodes. And the minute I see it go up, I sort of go, right, was that me? Was the client gone and loaded something? And then I go back to them and say, hey, whoa, right? You're maxing out stuff now. Because I actually do tell them how much storage they're allowed to have and stuff like that. So Marcus, do you know what? I can't remember the name. I think it's Grow Big, the middle one. Yeah, it's the middle one. Grow Big is the middle one, but we don't I now only have wait. We only have 8 clients now that we host. I don't provide hosting to anyone for a long time now, like long time. Fed up of it. Fed up of the issues. Fed up of sorting XYZ out, right? I'm fed up of it. So we only have 8. I think a couple of them will probably leave this year because they're not doing anything with their website. And I do wonder, like, I might just suspend the website and see if they notice. Like, they do nothing with it. But we are, but we're on the Grow Big. The only good thing about the Grow Big one is that obviously because it's like about 300,000 inodes, I think it's 300,000. So we've got the Web Squadron websites on there. I've got the Learn Web Squadron website on there. I've got my training websites on there as well. So having that extra space for me to stick stuff on, I've got the bricks tutorial website on there as well. So whenever I do bricks, I've got a dedicated website for that. So it's not, it's kind of like, it works for itself. Oh, actually, it might be 400. Actually, you're right. It might be 400. So what you got to think about, Ground Pets, Jonathan, right, is that if you, right, so let's just work this out now, okay? If you were to use up all of your inodes, right, divided by, let's just go with 9,000, you could get away with 44 basic elemental websites. But if you were now going to go down the e-commerce route, you might only get 18 because it's always about 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25 kind of like inodes, right? So if you've bought that for unlimited, it ain't the truth, right? It is not the truth. Funny how no one really ever talks about this. Really, do they? In fact, whenever there are videos, and I'm not going to name and shame anyone here, right? Go on, George, go on, interject. There's a lot of WordPress Elemental videos out there, and the first half an hour is about here's where you get your domain, here's where you get your hosting, here's a really good deal on Hostinger, go and use my link and you're going to get this deal. And they only ever focus on the bandwidth, the storage space, but they don't talk about inodes, right? Storage space is different to inodes. Do not make that mistake. Don't look at it and go, oh, the storage space is like 1 terabyte. Yay! No, that's the files and the databases behind the scenes. The inodes is very different. I need to do a video on it. I definitely will. Weberizer, what projects are you working on at the moment? There's a directory website that we built. I think it was in July. We're now fine-tuning it for the client. We've got a travel website whereby I might use Jet Appointment. I'm not entirely convinced yet. And obviously we're doing I've got to build out some modules for the Learning Elementor website course. And I am thinking about doing more with the Jet Engine appointment booking plugins. Eddie, just check my cPanel. The memory limit is 1 gig. That's what we're talking about, my friend. 1,024 and 500,000 inodes, and 25% is in use. Hey, you're doing pretty well with Name Hero there. Yep, exactly what George says there, right? Everything counts. You will not believe how much counts, right? It's literally like every letter in a word is like an inode. And I know this sounds dodgy to think about, but the word, you could almost say that's 4 inodes gone for the word. And you kind of go, what? Seriously, right? When you're on SiteGround, go to File Manager, right? Go and look at one of your images. Pick an image in your File Manager, WP Content, Upload, whatever, and just look at the inodes for that one image. You're going to be shocked. You think it's 1 inode. It might be one inode, but it's going to be more. Okay. RT, good question here. Do I like it more or less? So the video was 3 hours, Artif. It took me 9 days to research, edit, re-record, edit, compromise, think of solutions. So it took me 9 days. Was that a lot of time? Yeah. Basically, that was a lot of time. Do I like it though? Yes, I like it. I feel sorry for a lot of people though that didn't have like a proper intuitive series, because I feel like I've gone a little bit extra with what I did, but I feel like there's more to uncover, Artif. Like, I did what I did, but I feel like there's more with the appointment and the booking. And what I'm going to do is challenge myself to create a really cool directory website with a video series as well for that, because I feel like even though I did what I did and other people have done stuff as well, I still don't feel like it's properly explained properly. So I feel like I need to do more on that. Mark, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't even know where it would be in cPanel, to be honest. A blogging site is crazy hype. Well, the more you add, the more you take up. But what you need to do is add a bit, have a look at this, have a look at your inode usage, add a bit more, have another look, and then you'll start to form an idea or a pattern in your head for what is going on. WebRiser, can we do Webflow website animations? Look, if you use some GSAP, motion effects, and loads of stuff like that, you could do something. Are you going to get full-blown Webflow? I don't think so. Now, it's very easy to say the new generation like all these animated websites. Yeah, they do, until they get to the mobile, and then they sometimes pull back. Number two, just look, be objective about it. When you see a TikTok video and it shows a Webflow website, people are like, wow, I felt like I was diving into the cave. Ooh, I'm swimming. They get really excited. Now put it into practice with how you would make that work for a business. Apple can get away with it because Apple do loads of stuff, but it's not Webflow, right? Tell me how you could make it work for a business. You got a business selling trainers. How would it work? You got a business selling flowers. You got a consultant who offers consultancy for home renovations. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't work, does it? Imagine, right, there's a consultant and he wants to get high ticket priced paying clients. Are they going to care when they go on a website and it's like, here's a dolphin? Do dolphins make that sound? Was that whales? I don't know. I'm getting wrong here. George, thanks for answering that question there. How many websites? Oh, sorry. George is answering Eddie's question. Cheers for that. So what was I saying? What were we even talking? Webflow, that was it. We're talking about Webflow. Eddie, will you use CrocoBlock for client websites in the future? Not yet. Not yet. If I need a website with custom fields, I'll use ACF. If I need a website where I'm going to do more with it, like repeater fields and stuff, then I think I would go to Jet Engine, because you get more with the, with Jet Engine than you do with ACF Pro. If I'm going to do a directory website, I'd still use my listing until I'm fully convinced that I could achieve everything that I want to achieve with Jet Engine. Secondly, time. I could knock out a directory website in 2 or 3 days with my listing. Jet Engine, going to take a considerable more amount of time. So you're going to factor in the time aspect of it as well. And it also depends on the cost. Is the client willing to pay for it? Because I'm not going to give it to them for free. I don't even have it for free, but I'm not going to give it to them, right? So are they willing to do it? Yeah, but yeah. So Jonathan, you would have the instructions from SiteGround would have told you to do this. Yeah, so the instructions would have told you to do this. Yeah, so yeah. You might need to go back and review or even get in touch with their live chat to sort out if you have got any issues over there. Yeah, Mike is right. Auto dealership, real estate as well. Um, I, I want to put CrocoBlock more through its paces, really. Mainly because I just want to put it through its paces. And in fact, I may even be a little bit generous in that I might just hit my wire. If I do a more dedicated website for CrocoBlock, like real estate or a directory, rather than doing it in Elementor, I may do it in Bricks. So that, because I haven't done many Bricks videos in a while, and I feel like, there's not been many CrocoBlock Bricks videos. Paul did one, didn't he, about 3 weeks ago, I think. I'm sure he did something with Bricks. I think it was a directory. But the point I'm making is, and this isn't a dig at anyone, a lot of the directory websites that have been done with CrocoBlock on Elementor or Bricks or anywhere else, or even Gutenberg, they tend to do what I think are like the basics. But in reality, none of them have done a front end submission and tied it all in. Do you know what I mean? So you are now going to have a membership. You sign up, you then go to a page, you then fill in the details, it goes off to admin, and if they approve it, it populates within the directory. Because it's all good and well learning about Jet Engine and the filters and the book appointments, all good and well. But in reality, why do people use the My Listing theme? Because it's quicker and easier. You get the whole map feature, which I know you get with Jet Appointment as well, but it's all built in. And you get the front end form submission and the membership, and everything is tied together. Tell me one video out there that does all of that. And that's what's missing. And that is the challenge I've set myself that I would love to sort out and work on. I don't know when. I don't know when yet. But soon. And if I can do that, I would love to do an Elemental version, really using CrocoBlock now. Like, we're pushing it now. And with a Bricks one as well. So a different thing with Bricks. Because I think... Would you agree with me on that? Would you agree with me? Because every time when I was doing my research to get to grips with it more, every video I came across, they were very similar in what they were doing. Which is why when I've done mine, I've gone for a personal trainer fitness website, because no one's really done that. And I felt that might be a bit more relevant because you could apply it to anything. Let's just take some of the comments. Exactly, and that's the thing, Mark. You're right. I think I've given up on how many times I've just done videos, for free. But I think this is a great advancement on kind of like, taking things a little step forward, I think, with CrocoBlock. So this is the challenge I am currently setting myself at the moment. Estate 0007. Thinking about buying bricks. I've heard it's better in some aspects when it comes to. Is that right? By the way, it's State 0007. I love the profile pic. I love that profile pic. That is what I call a profile pic. If you look, I have done loads of testing with bricks and Elementor, and I actually feel like it's all about the learning curve. Elementor's easier, bricks, you need a bit more thinking. Performance wise, bricks is better until you start adding stuff, and then you will find they're actually nearly equal. I've done shitloads of testing. They're not that far. Let me tell you now, they're not that far off when you add loads of stuff. Is it quicker and easier? It depends on how you build. It very much depends on how you do your build. I do think that it's not a bad idea to get bricks now because of the price for bricks and what you get, right? Lifetime, and you pay once. You pay once and you got unlimited websites. If you look at the price of what you get, it's a no-brainer. Because one day they will change their price, and it might be annual renewal, monthly renewal. I don't know. Okay. And when they do that, you're going to look back and go, I wish I had got it. I wish I'd got it then. And I would say, get it, learn it in your own time. You will find that if you're very much used to Elementor, there's a learning curve. You may ditch Elementor and go straight to bricks. I quite like the happy medium of being able to jump around with what I want to go for. You can hear my phone tinging away there. I'm just waiting for some messages to come in. Hey, John Cyaniders, how you doing? What would I be doing differently if I was to start today? I wouldn't take no shit from some people, really. I wouldn't take like some of the like abuse or harassment you get from some clients or even people that want to work with me. Do this, do that, wipe my ass for me. Not happening now. And I don't kind of let it happen now. Hey, friendly girl, how you doing? So things I would do differently is I would just say no. Because one thing I've realized, and I think it hit me a bit last week, and it's been slowly getting there in that I need to maintain control. I gave up 20 years in the NHS, head of department, basically threw away 20 years of my career to just focus on web design. And that was a big choice. But one of the reasons I did it was because I was fed up of meetings for meetings' sake. And I was fed up of answering to people who didn't know shit from shit, right? And you always have to, even when you're head of department, you still answer to someone, and they answer to someone, and they answer to someone. It never stops. It probably does somewhere. And I decided, no, I'm going to rein it in. I'm in control of my destiny now. I will do what I want to do with how I want to do it, as long as I'm doing it right. No, Paul does not own bricks. Me and Paul are not affiliated to bricks, right? We just we use it, we like it, but we're not affiliated on it at all. And I would say that losing control of your life because you feel like you got to do someone a favor. Oh yeah, we'll do this. Oh yeah, I'll help you out. Sometimes becomes a burden, and you sort of go, I gave up my day job to get more control in what I do and how I do it. So I had to remind myself last week, Imran, sort yourself out, stay in control. Yeah, don't forget to smash the like button over there. Dave does make a good point, though. If you do want to have much more control over, your HTML, basically it's more of a coding. You will have to get dirty with code. You can't get away from it. And one of the things that Bricks does really, really well is the global CSS styling. When you get to apply a style for your button, and you can have different buttons and different hover styles, or for particular text, you can have different versions. It's really, really super cool way of doing your class styling, basically. Um, yeah, I mean, I I don't. Uh, how to explain this? I have a gateway before I acknowledge someone as a friend. I'm not defensive, but I'm a little bit like, why do you want to be my friend? Are you doing it for ulterior motives or because we actually are friends? Just because I've been so burnt. Yeah, friendly, I am exhausted. 9 days on the crocker block, got it out. Um, and then I had two client projects come in. Got to get one out today, finish it off. Um, when you spend 9 days on crocker block, stuff you wanted to get in those 9 days piles up. I don't mean client work, but there were like other stuff, other projects, other investigations, other videos. And when it all starts to stack up, it's very much like, ugh. And also, my son is off school this week, so it's looking after him as well. Um, the thing is, though, ground pets, there's no harm in using Elementor and Bricks and Breakdance and Quickly and Spectra and whatever else you want to use. There's no harm in doing that. There's no harm in that. Kate, do you think that whatever system a developer chooses has more to do with their personal workflow? Yeah, I think so. I think so. And sometimes it's also about what's the easiest thing to explain as well. Artif is a friend, though. Artif is a good friend. Artif's like family. His uncle, my uncle, we're all uncles at the end of the day. Oh, absolutely, friendly girl. I know. Oh, don't you worry. Look, the fact that a lot of you keep coming back to the live chat and I see your name, it always makes me smile. So, when I say, hey, Artif, or hey, friendly girl, hey, Michael, hey, Kate, hey, Mark, it might sound very flippant. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Deep down inside, I am so overjoyed to see you all here, except Mark Harris. Mark Harris, he's always, he's a dodgy one. He is a dodgy one. And by the way, again, someone said they were going to be doing a new video and they mentioned the word chump in their description again. And every time I see that, I just shake my head and think, how pathetic. Not you, Mark, the other person. Hey, Maddie, how are you doing? Mike says, do an Airbnb where we can stay over it. Flipping egg, you want me? I thought you meant build a website. I was like, that's going to be quite a lot of work. Do an Airbnb experience where we can stay over and geek out. Are you in Canada, though? Whereabouts are you based? Where are you based? Hey, advanced developers. Hey, CF Gru. How are you doing? Now, I've been live for 58 minutes. I am going to shoot off in 2, mainly because I've got some emails I've got to attend to, and I also need to just basically finalize a client's website where I'm reusing one of my code snippets so that if you buy these two products, it redirects you to a page. If you buy these two, it goes here. If you buy these two, it goes here. So it's like a code snippet. So based on the product ID, when the purchase has gone through, it then redirects you at the end of the purchase to another load of pages. Estate, the videos from Paul C and Crocker Block have quite similar content. Yeah, exactly. So again, I'm not knocking anyone, but when I did my research, I found that Ferdy, Reno, Paul, even Crocker Block, and some other people as well, Inform Tech, Farhana, there was a similarity. There was a little difference, but there was a similarity in the subject matter, which is why I went, no, let's do fitness trainer. Let's make it more realistic. And maybe now if a fitness trainer approaches you and they go, oh, I got classes, I got friends, I want to do this, you might now have a better video that you can jump into, you know. Cheers, Keys. That is exactly what I'm going to try and do. Right, okay, everyone. I'm now going to jump off. I'm going to go and just grab something to eat. And I'm go and answer some emails. Go and work on just finalizing this directory website with the code snippets and a few tweaks here and there. Yeah, so Goldieberg, look, if you're getting a buffering issue, what's the settings you've got for the quality of the video? Number one. The trouble with streaming via YouTube, it's very unpredictable. It's very unpredictable. Marcus, trust me, when I throw the wood into that skip, I will be thinking of Kinster for sure. Okay, everyone, I'm now going to say goodbye. Okay, don't forget to go and check out the Facebook group if you're not already a member. Go to Facebook, do a search for Web Squadron, and if you've not signed up for the course, please go and do that. You will love it. There's always new updates coming out, and I am trying to negotiate some more discount coupon codes for you all as well. Take care, stay safe. Bye.